Hello everyone, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, good day. Hope you are all having an amazing day today. My name is Lex and welcome back to some more GTA 5, where today we're going to be checking out not this, but the civilian version, because one of the things that I've always felt about when we get these sort of specialist cars inside of GTA is that it's nice to have a sort of dulled down civilian version that we could perhaps mod up ourselves to this level, or just like so we can see a sort of like a base version driving around town, because that'd be pretty cool. And someone has made a proper civilian version of the Omnis, so we're going to be checking that out in today's video. But before all of that, there's going to be some comments on the screen. These are comments featured from the previous video. If you would like your comments featured, you can leave them in the comment section below. I'll pick some at random and feature them at the start of the next video. And don't forget, you can also follow me on Twitter and Instagram. Links for that in the description below. And also Discord. I mentioned this in another video recently, and we now have an official Discord server that you guys can go and join. You can all talk amongst each other and make some new friends and all that sort of stuff, and just discuss all the things you like, generally about cars, gaming, GTA, music, and memes. If you're into any of that, then the Discord server is right up your alley. Link in the description below. So, let's go ahead and find somewhere to park this thing, and we're going to do a little bit of a comparison, and we're going to do a little bit of a tune-up and a couple of different builds with the civilian Omnis. So, let's just go outside right here. This will be fine. Let's spawn in the new civilian Omnis. And here it is, in all its thin glory. Now that I've got used to this Omnis, this thing looks really thin. It looks so weird without having any of these massive arches on the side, but if this was to be like a race car version, that would be the original. That would be how the original would look like. And look at that. That is a huge difference. Still got those Mark 1, MR2, AW11 rear lights, which is always interesting. I know I like how Rockstar like to mix and match cars, but there is our stock little Omnis. So obviously, there are the main comparisons. I mean, this one has a kit. This one doesn't. I mean, if we look on the interior, this has got a nice, simple interior. Let me just move back and out of Michael's head so we can see. Just a nice, simple interior, whereas this one is obviously completely stripped out. Dials, things everywhere, all of these custom seats and interesting door handles and stuff like that. This is nice and civilized and simple. And also, I don't know what interior this comes out of, but that bit doesn't line up, and that bit looks sort of like an A86 interior. I don't know if this is out of the Futo. I wouldn't have thought so, because I thought it was something different. Some higher definition than usual textures, I'd say, though, because that's actually readable. There we go. It's got recirc and fresh and all that sort of stuff. And that's pretty much it for the interior. And pretty much it for the car. That's very simple. So, let's get a menus mod. Let's go to vehicle options. Menus customs. Now, if I was to have the ideal version of the Omnis, it would be this as the base, and then you can add all of these parts to it separately. So you can add in like just the bonnet, just the lights, change the grille perhaps, you know, put the arches in, add these sort of like reinforced windows, change the interior, different spoilers. I mean, this one does come with a couple of different spoilers. This is the larger of the two. But again, that's not exactly what this one is. So, in Lowrider mods, we don't actually have anything. I just want to check if we do have any interior color changing, though, but I don't think we will. No, nothing going on with either of those. So on the spoiler, we have a few options. A lot more options than you would on this one, because this one just has a couple of giant ones or none at all. Whereas this one has the stock, which is nothing. Then we have this little color-coded wing. Nice and simple. We have the low level, which is actually just like, I think these names are not really suited, but that's basically the rubberized version of that one, which I do like. I mean, this is currently spawned in black, but if we were to change that color to show the plastic bit or the rubbery bit, that's cool in my opinion. Then we have this version, and then we have like a rubbery version of that one as well. Bit of an odd one to have in that sort of color scheme, but oh well. And then we have this miniature-sized tuna wing that just has this little bit of stuff going down and attaching down there like that. So on this build, I want to go for that right there, because I just want to make it look a little bit specced up, add a couple of options like we would have done from the factory, but nothing too crazy. And then on the front bumper, we don't have the options of extra front bumpers and different style ones, sadly, but we do have the option to add a little tow hook if we want to do that. This one's supposed to be a civilian one, so I'm actually not going to do that for this build. Then on the exhaust, we have the stock, and then we have the titanium tuner exhaust. That's pretty much the same as the options that we have for this one. In fact, the stock exhausts are identical. Again, it would be really nice if we just had a couple of extra options, because I really don't like titanium exhausts. But oh well, what are you going to do? This is still an amazing job. The fact that they've managed to get this without all of the arches and stuff is still amazing anyway. Then on the hood, we have the normal. This is actually the same as that one. So it still does have that. So it is some sort of like rally homologation version, I guess, that would still have the fancy bonnet instead of a smooth one. But we do have that in the secondary color, or we have a carbon version right there. Again, would be really cool if we had like a smoothed version, just a simpler looking one. I think for this one, we'll just go and keep it stock. And that is actually it for the tuning parts. And now this is where it's going to have to get interesting, because I'm going to have to use my imagination with some paint colors, some wheel choices, and V-stancer, of course. So I'm going to actually go ahead and make this a street build. I'm just going to make this nice, slammed, simple, and we'll see how we go with that. So let's go to suspension, drop that down. Not really much of a drop anyway. On the paints, let's see what we've got here. Now, a lot of these brighter colors are not going to match. Things like the gold and the bronze and stuff are a bit more suiting to the period, whereas this is a little bit too much, I'd say. So actually, I'm going to go for this dark blue, because I want to go for a nice civilian version. And I think that looks alright. And now you can actually see where the plastic spoiler is. That is very cool. I like that colour. I'm very into dark blue cars at the minute. Then on the wheels, let's just go for... Ooh, I mean, we always go for the base start ones on the Sport. Oh, I don't know. But I am noticing here, as I'm looking at the side of this car, I think it's the texture. But this darker area here on the texture makes that arch... I mean, if you look at it this way, it's pretty flat. But when you look at it this way, it does look like it has a bit of a bulge to it. I don't know whether they've just not got rid of that darkening on the texture to make it look a little bit flatter. But it seems to me like it's just very similar to what you would have had on this car. And it does make it look a little bit wide at that angle. Just not at that one when you can actually see the arch. But again, interesting take on the textures of the car. Completely changing how it looks. Again, on the front, it does make the arch look a little bit wider, which I think was the objective with this one. So, yeah, wonder why they never changed it for the flat version. So I don't know how any of these wheels are going to come out, so I'm actually going to use this one just to try and play around with it. And we'll go ahead and change the colour, because I'm not really sure on the white. Make it black, grey, something like that. That will do. Stone silver, that'll work. And what I want to do in V-Stancer is make these wheels smaller, because these wheels are pretty big right now. They don't really suit the car, so I'm going to go ahead. Make those look a little bit more... I'd say that's about right, because we've got to drop these down, and obviously we've got to lower the car as well yet. But I'll give them a little bit more width. Mind you, they're quite big already anyway. So let's just get a visual lowering and drop that right down. Right there, that's going to be fine. And then on the... we could either like tuck this in or leave it sort of flush. I'm not really sure what sort of style I want to go for here. Maybe these wheels are still too big. I'm not entirely sure. It's quite weird now that they've got rid of the arches that the wheels do look a bit funny in the arches for some reason. Anyway, maybe I'm actually just going to go with like a tucked look. So I'm going to tuck those both in and then drop that right. Oh, actually, there's something glitching through right here. Oh. Oh. Okay, I guess we can't have those tucked in. We're going to have to go for some track width and bring that out, I guess, to there, because that's all we can do, really. Well, in that case, I'm just going to put it up just a little bit, and I'm actually going to use camber, perhaps? Is that going to show the stuff coming through it? Yeah, it is. Mind you, if I camber it and poke it, it should be alright. Yeah, that'll work, although I can definitely see that the front is higher than the rear, and that's not good. So I'm actually going to make these wheels a little bit smaller. And actually, as this is front-wheel drive, I'm going to get rid of the camber on the front, and I'm going to go for some proper German stance with this one. Not some sort of JDM drifty style stance or anything. I'm just going to have that low and then go for the rear camber just a little bit and have that like that, maybe a little bit more, and then bring that out. Yeah, that's going to work. And front track width out, maybe a little bit of camber, and there we go. Right, that is our first build done. It's an interesting one. It's definitely a lot different to the whole theme and feel of the original Omnis. Going for it like that, that's supposed to be just some sort of like classic German car. You know, slammed, wide wheels, bit of camber. Pretty standard affair, I'd say. In fact, let's just try and get it over a speed bump. as is tradition. Should be nice and simple. Seems like I actually, yeah. I didn't really use the suspension height. I just changed the visual lowering, so it's not really going to act like a lowered car. But of course, we can change that. So let's just go to front height. Bring that down. I just don't want it. The reason why I don't really use the height is because I don't like it glitching out. And I'm always scared of it doing that. I wonder if this is going to get over now. Oh, there we go. That's better. That's more suited. Getting a little bit of scrape going over the speed bump there. So that's that build done. I'm going to do a couple more, but I'm not going to speed build them. I'm just going to show you the final product because, well, there's not really much to show you. So let's now move on to the next build. Okay, so here we are with the second one, and we have a huge difference in height this time and wheel size, because whereas with this one, I went with the wheels going smaller, this one, of course, I made the wheels bigger. I just made it dirty. I made it grey. I gave it some nice, thick off-road tyres. And also this spoiler here, and I've also just gone for that on the front. I've not really changed any of the, like, the secondary colour bonnet or anything like that, or even the carbon fibre. I just liked this as an off-roader car. And I've actually risen the height using the height adjustment, not the visual lowering, so it does actually have the characteristics of the higher car. Although it's still actually pretty solid. It's not going to tip over anytime soon. That's pretty damn cool. Although, again, I think this build would perhaps be better suited if it did have all the wide arches and stuff like that. Again, that's why we need the ultimate Omnis build that lets you do both, or half, or however many parts you do or don't want to use. But this is an interesting spectacle nonetheless. Seems this is a non-wide arch version of the Omnis, so can't complain. Right, let me just try doing one more. Okay, and here we are with the third build. Now, it might not look like much. In fact, it's pretty much the same color as the last build. But the one thing that I've done is I've added steel wheels. And I've also changed the engine. It sounds a lot better now. And I've made it a hell of a lot faster. As you can see right here. I've now made this the ultimate sleeper. It's the completely civilized version. Well, it looks like the civilized version. But this thing goes like shit off a shovel. Oh, and that sound is just amazing with this car as well. Oh, God, that's quick. Ooh, that's fast. And there we go. That is the final build. I don't normally do a sleeper build, so that's something different. I just felt like this car really, truly deserved such a build. Because there's not really much to do. And at the same time, it just suits the car so perfectly. So, there we go, guys. Whoop, that was terrible. That is it for this video. This thing is so damn fast. Let's get this on the highway and go for it. Woo! That's quick. Oh, boy. I have no idea what speed we're doing. Should I put the speedometer on just so we can see? I'm curious. Okay, let's do a turnaround and see what we do on the way back. I think this thing's definitely going to break 200 miles an hour. Easy. Oof. Oh, we're doing it. Okay, maybe not easy, but we broke 200 miles an hour. There we go. 200 mile an hour civilian Omnis that I crashed because actually this road's terrible. And this is why you should download my top speed test track for GTA 5. Link for that in the description below. So you can be like me and go super fast in a straight line without having to worry about bumps, cars, turns, or anything like that. And there we go. Properly doing 200 miles an hour in this thing. Well, there we go, guys. That is it. Thank you so much for watching. And I shall see you all next time. Goodbye.